Too nice of a day to be stuck here at the house, but hey everybody, it's Tommy, and today I'm going to be installing some parts on my new ski. I ordered a bunch of parts this week and they all came in. I got the Riva power filter, I got the ribbon delete kit here, I got the engine breather here, and thanks to JD I got a blow-off valve. Also got the vacuum port and the hoses there. But I'm going to install these parts. I don't know if I'm going to do the ribbon delete today, because that looks like it's a bear to install. So I'm going to get the others installed first and then see how I feel afterwards and go from there. So the first thing I'm going to tackle is the power filter. I got to remove this hose here, this hose here, and then remove this filter. Alright, so the first thing to do is remove this hose clamp. And then set it aside here. And then you got to remove this hose clamp right here. That's a 7mm. That's loose, and then I got to loosen that one down there to the supercharger. Okay, so I got that out, and I'm going to move on to the next step, which is removing the air filter box. There's 4 bolts here, and then 4 bolts, or I'm sorry, 2 bolts here, 2 bolts on the other side. Two underneath. Here first, and then I can get that out. All right, to remove these 4 bolts you need a 12mm socket. All right, I got the air filter box out. I'm going to go ahead and remove that bracket down there. So to remove this bracket, there's 4 bolts, and those are also 12mm. There is a zip tie here that you're going to have to cut. All right, so that's everything out of the way. Now it's time to start installing. All right, the next step is to remove this bolt here on the side. This is where the bracket's going to go for the power filter tubing. Yeah, that's in there. Okay, next step is to put blue Loctite on this bolt here. With the washer, flat washer. Okay, switch it out to a 14mm and just snug this down. So to install this bracket, you're going to attach it to this bolt that you put in that Riva supplied. This flat side up against the rivets that are in there. That's what this cutout is for. Then this is going to go that way with the opening facing up, and you're going to use the brass nylon nut that you removed from the old filter. Okay, installing that bracket was a little bit difficult because it's at an awkward angle. And trying to get both hands in there to hold everything in place and screw it in was a little bit difficult. So the next step is to put this on. There's 2 Allen bolts there, and you want to make sure you put it in the right way. So it's going to go inside this way, that way, so that way you can screw this onto it. You're going to need to loosen these. I don't know if if you have to loosen them or remove them completely to be able to get on there, or if you just loosen them a little bit and you have enough room to get on there. But I'll find out here in a second and let you know. So you don't need to remove it all the way and take it apart. Just loosen it enough and it'll slide right over. Next thing to do is to screw on the velocity stack onto that ring there that you put over the inlet for the supercharger. You screw it on there, and it only has to be snug. So now you're going to install the rubber shock mount. Hand tighten. Okay, so the next step is to put the sleeve on, clamp it down. Don't over clamp it, you don't want to deform this plastic tubing. And put the filter on. I put the mesh bag over the top of it to help repel water. And we got to slide it on to the velocity stack down there, and then clamp it down. And then up here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, we need to bolt it down. I'm going to do that off camera because it's a little bit tricky. Okay, the power filter is installed and routed up front. I did put the plug in for the engine breather. I have the engine breather, I already installed it, put the filter on it. I'm going to still have to mount this. But I'm going to tell you, that bolt back there on that plate that you install, you have to put the bolt down into the rubber grommet or the rubber bushing that's in here. What a pain in the butt. You cannot get in there. I tried to get to it from here and it's too far forward or too far back, so I couldn't reach it there, and trying to get the angle in here to get that was a pain. All right, I'm starting on the BOV. You want to loosen this clamp here to your supercharger, this clamp here and this clamp here, and then you want to just work this thing off, and it is a little bit tough. You want to make sure this is completely loose. Let me do this off camera because I think I need two hands to get this off of there. Yeah. Okay, got the hose out. Took a little bit of wiggling it back and forth, but it came out. I'm going to go ahead and install this now with the reusing the clamps, and it's going to be a little bit hard to show you, but it goes in this way, just like that. So let me go ahead and do that real quick and I'll be back. All right, so I finally got this installed. Ran into a bit of a problem. So from the factory, from Riva, this BOV was turned too far this way, so it was hitting the engine. So I had to break the, I believe they call it an Edgar clamp, and then put a regular stainless steel clamp on here. And I probably turned it about 3 degrees up, so that way I could put the engine cover on it and attach the vacuum hose. That was fun. But now I'm going to remove the sensor down here, install the vacuum kit. So the installation document says to remove the fuel rail here, which I'm not going to do. I think they do that just so you can get better access to this sensor here. But I'm able to get to it. What I did was I took a 17 mil deep socket, tucked that clip here, this clip end, into it along with the wire, just enough, and all I needed was just a little bit to grab a hold of that nut there, and I was able to break it loose, and now I can just turn it with my hand. So that was pretty easy. Got that out. I'll go ahead and put this together and install it. Okay, I got that adapter put in there. I forgot to mention, make sure you put some thread lube on there, or thread sealant. So here's one of the crush washers. You're gonna slide that on that little adapter. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it. Okay. All right, so that's on there. Then you're going to take this adapter. You're going to slide it on here over the top of it. And then you're going to put the other crush washer in. Over your sensor and screw that in, and then you're going to torque that down to 11 foot-pounds as well. Let me go ahead and do that. So before I put this block in, on that adapter, I went ahead and put the hose on there and put the zip tie on, so it's easier because I do have the fuel rail here in place. It's a little difficult to get down there, so I'm going to go ahead, like I said, I put this on now. I tighten down these here because I'm brass fittings, because I'm not putting a boost gauge or anything like that, at least not right now. And I'm going to go ahead and install this now. There it is, everything's installed. I didn't do the ribbon delete. I am burned out, it's hot. Been at this for about 3 hours. The hardest part was that one bolt here underneath, for me at least. But got the engine breather installed, the BOV, the power filter. Give it a start and hopefully everything's good. All right. Whew, it is hot. I'm tired. At least I got the majority of it done. The hardest part will be the next one when I do the ribbon delete. I'm gonna take it out on the water hopefully soon and give it a test ride. We'll see you soon.